Greetings! It is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It's time for Gathering the Roll, the only news program supported by the Empire, with exciting and fantastic news from collectible card games such as Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, and Pathfinder, and of course, board games of all kinds. This week, we're going to start by diving, of course, into the collectible card games. Let's start by talking about Magic the Gathering. In Magic news, there's only one thing. A tournament's going over this weekend. It's going to be the Grand Prix Pittsburgh. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area and if there's an opening, you might be able to participate. Well, at the very least, you can either come and observe it, or you could watch it again on Magic's Twitch channel. But moving on from there, let's move into some Vampire the Eternal Struggle news. As previously stated, Anthology is going to be released with the championships later on this year in Berlin, in Europe. The full card list has been spoiled. This includes all the names of all the cards. Granted, this doesn't tell you all the cards because most of these are going to again be reprints with very few new cards. So now you can see at least what the names of the new cards is and which cards are being reprinted in this Anthology set, which is coming out soon. Moving on from there, we do have some Pokemon news. Pokemon Sun and Moon have been released. So these, of course, are the expansions based upon the new video games that have come out. So it has all the Pokemon from these two new games in your trading card format. So now you can go get them and get all these exciting new Pokemon for your trading card game. But let's now move on to role-playing game news. First off is some Dungeons & Dragons news. A new Unearthed Arcana is out this week, all about the Sorcerer. So it's 4 new archetypes that you can take for your Sorcerer, 4 new bloodlines. The first off is Favored Soul, which is all about combining, of course, your arcane magic and your divine magic in an interesting way. The others are more specifically based around bloodlines. Phoenix Sorcery, all about mastering the Phoenix magic, about fire and resurrection. There's, of course, Sea Sorcery, all about mastering of the ocean and water. And Stone Sorcery, all about earth itself, rock and stone. So you can check out all of these archetypes now in the Unearthed Arcana for Sorcerer. Moving on from there, we have some more Faesas news and some more Earth Dawn. They've once again been spoiling out the next big book, continuing with this High Circle gameplay with the High Circle Warrior. Very comparable to the Sky Raider previously mentioned, but this one has some unique traits to it. It's more about bringing the pain when it comes to fighting. And it also has some talents that are based more about being proactive about defense, rather than reactive like it was for the Sky Raider. So protecting yourself a little bit ahead of time and getting some good licks in. So now you can check this out for your 9th to 15th Circle play. Again, this is just a big preview of the upcoming book. Moving on from there, we do have some Star Wars. It's the Edge of the Empire campaign this time. So in the Star Wars Edge of the Empire, they've released a new book, No Disintegration. This book is going to be all about being a bounty hunter, effectively being on sort of the side of the law, basically looking for criminals, capturing them for money. It's a book that's going to make it much easier for you playing your bounty hunter type characters in the Edge of the Empire campaign setting for Star Wars. Era the Consortium has released its rules primer also as a free downloadable PDF. So this is combining all the information, everything that's been released for this game, and putting it together in a way that makes it easy to understand regardless of the type of setting you're in. So it is a rules primer that helps when you're combining a lot of the different campaign settings that are suggested for this RPG. Also out is Conan the RPG. The main core rulebook is out now, and the first adventure. So now you can pick up both of these if you want to play some games set in the Conan universe of the books, TV shows, and movies. Now, when we begin to transition from role-playing games to tabletop games and card games, of course we want to talk about Munchkin. Munchkin has a few new releases this week. First off is in the Munchkin Apocalypse brand, the Judge Dredd booster pack. So it's a booster pack of 15 cards with a Judge Dredd theme that you can play along with your Munchkin Apocalypse cards. Also, is a more standalone game, is Moop's Monster Mashup. Now this one is a thing that takes a lot of the traditional Munchkin monsters and basically mashes them up into new ones, that there's experiments to fight the Munchkins. Granted, this one it's standard Munchkin. It can be played just like Munchkin. You can play this set on its own, or you can combine it with any other Munchkin set just like before. So now you can check this out. Also, but let's move on from there, and let's talk about more specific board game news. Released for the Conan, the board game, not the RPG this time, is the expansion for the Corsac Witch Hunters. So now you can get these set of Witch Hunters, any one or all of them, for your Conan board game. Also out is Dark Overlord. It's an interesting game where effectively the Dark Overlord has failed to conquer the world, and you are groups of his minions attempting to foot the blame on others of his minions and survive the wrath of the Dark Overlord, beating the one that could help out the next time he tries to take over the world. So an interesting take on a type of board card game you might want to check out yourself. So that's it for the news for this week. Links to any of these stories will of course be in the description below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. It's important to share the news. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to say about any of these news stories and more, you can leave them in the comments below. Anything that you wish for us to have a long-form discussion on, or topics if you have a suggestion for them, you can leave in the description below for discussing Tabletop, which will be this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at www.twitch.tv/Tantus and Dracovin, TANTUSNDRACOVIN. Of course, you could also email if you have any questions for specifically discussing tabletop at discussingtabletop@yahoo.com. We take those for questions that you have to ask us or for topics of discussion. Anything else, you are free to leave in the comments below. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.